Well, sitting down here for a little break in the Monument Park, and one of my concerns is no longer a concern, and that is they have flowing water, which is really good. Means my next stop should also potentially have flowing water too, so I don't have to worry about filtering and taking time. So when I come through here in a couple days, I'll be able to shoot over there, fill up my water, drink as much as I want, as fast as I want, because I plan on not carrying any water with me while I'm hiking, trying to keep as light as possible. I may carry just a little bit, but all depending, like between this and the next source in 4 miles, I definitely won't be carrying any there. I'll be trying to drink a liter or better at each stop, and then keeping hydrated that way. So them having water here and is pretty awesome. Also, sitting down for one of my favorite snacks on the trail, which is bread, meat, and cheese. Yummy. All right, everyone, remember this. The trail turns, goes up there. That's an example of something I gotta try to keep in mind, because that trail looks like it goes straight right there, and if it wasn't for just this little log sticking across, I gotta remember it turns. There is some turning blazes on that tree, but if it's gonna be dark, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see that. But anyways, I think this is gonna be the end of this day. I'm coming up on that, finishing off the 14 miles, which I know ends at this public place that Sharon and I on our through hike got a hot shower. I don't know if it's if they keep it open during the winter or not. I doubt it. My only hope is that it's so close to a road that maybe the bathroom's still open. 'Cause it's a bathroom, and it just happens to have showers in it. So we will see when we get down there. Fingers crossed. Well, that's not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. I have a feeling this is locked. No footsteps coming up here. Restroom closed for winter. Boop. Home. Whew. Well, I hope this tent works out well. The shelter was a little cold last night, but it's supposed to be another 5 degrees colder tonight, so like 15 degrees or so. So, like last night, I didn't show you guys, but everything's going in my sleeping bag with me. Boots and all, baby. Yeah, so my hiking boots got just, get out of there, guy. Just a little damp from hiking, and they're gonna end up freezing solid if I don't do something. So what I did was, I've got a trash compactor bag that I use as my pack liner. And what I do is at night I pull it out, flip it inside out, and then I put my boots in it, and then I put my boots in my sleeping bag with me, along with the rest of the electronics, cameras and stuff like that, and any water that I don't use tonight. I was hoping that these bathrooms would be open because I was gonna snag water here, but I did grab enough water from the park there to get me through tonight, and I guess if I have to, I could melt some snow. But there you have it. I'm getting settled in. It was a good day. Trail conditions are awful. If it's like this on the way back through, I am in for a world of pain. because I'm tired now, just after doing 14 miles. So we'll see. I know my pack will be lighter. I'm going to eat most of my food and stuff, so we'll see how that goes. But there you have it. Time for dinner. Comfort, 31 degrees Fahrenheit. Limit, 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, that makes sense. Whoo-wee. That was a cold night last night. I didn't do a whole lot of sleeping. Well, I did get a little bit more sleep this morning. I think it was just because I was getting exhausted of flipping and turning, but little word to the wise, always err on the side of warmer for your sleeping bag. This just happens to be my colder sleeping bag. My 0 degree bag is old and doesn't loft very well anymore, so it doesn't work. I need to replace that. I mean, it works, just not for 0 degrees anymore. And this Cat's Meow bag from North Face is a 30 degree bag. Its limit, it says, is 20, but it was 15 degrees last night, so I got a little bit chilly. Like I said, you should always err on the warmer side for your bag, and if you get warm, you can unzip it and vent a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to have a very restless night. All right, the point of no return. Some of you guys that have done winter camping know exactly what I'm talking about, and that's the moment where you finally get out of your sleeping bag and you start to pack it away and know this is the warmest you're going to be until after you've started hiking for a while. Okay, another tip, as you're packing up, your hands, especially now it's still just under 20 degrees probably, your hands are going to get cold, and when people's hands get cold, everybody tends to go and blow into their hands. Well, that's just blowing moisture into your gloves, and at 20 degrees, moisture gets cold and turns to ice and that kind of thing. Not saying you're actually going to get ice on your hands, but I find that it's a really quick warmth, but then over time it'll actually make your hands colder. What I do, take a second to pull your fingers out of your gloves and ball your hand up nice and small and tight and get all your fingers together. That'll encourage the blood flow to your fingers, and then take your hand and either put it in your vest pocket or underneath your shirt, hold it close to your torso, and just give yourself 2 or 3 minutes. You'll find that it encourages the blood flow back to your fingertips, and by switching your thumb inside your palm and outside your palm and keeping that nice and close to you, your hands will warm up a lot faster that way. No matter what you do over time, you're going to get dirt and debris and stuff inside your tent. No matter how careful you are taking off your shoes and all of that, it's going to happen. And that dirt and debris, when you pack it up in your tent, can be an abrasive that can wear holes and also just do damage to your tent. Now, my case is a little different today. What I have in my tent is the frozen condensation from it getting so cold last night. But I don't want to leave this in my tent either. So one thing you can do, and this only works for you guys with freestanding tents, is once you've taken your rain fly off and unstaked your tent, I'm going to see if I can get this in the camera, you can pick your whole tent up. They tend to be light, and then turn it upside down and shake it out. This is going to remove the majority, this is some fancy camera work, the majority of all of the little debris in the nooks and crannies. You may have to get in here, especially this is just frozen, and break some of this stuff free, and then you can pick it up and shake it again. But with it still having the tent poles in it, it allows you to pick it up as one, like a whole structure, and then leaving the door open, you can shake a lot of the debris out that way. Oh, day 3, still hiking. Supposed to be warmer today. Doesn't really feel much warmer. and it's so overcast that sun can't get down and melt this snow, so I don't know. It may still be here when I turn around. Well there, ladies and gentlemen, I've made it to my final shelter on this trip. It's the Ed Garvey shelter. Super, super nice shelter. And I'm in the second story, but super nice shelter, but the water is like a steep half-mile down this big, hill. So I decided instead of going there for the water, there's snow. There's snow like right out there, like super close. And I'm lazy right now, so I'm going to be melting the snow for my dinner tonight to save on the water I have, so that I don't actually have to hike down that hill. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. There is something magical about this trail. I'm going to give you a little trail magic story this morning as I begin my walk to Harper's Ferry on my last day south. I arrived at that shelter at, I think, 3 o'clock yesterday evening, and I was going to, I almost turned north here, gotta go south. And I was gonna get an early night's sleep, get up a little bit early this morning, and start my transition to walking at night. And I had just cooked dinner and been laying in that shelter for maybe an hour or two, talked to my wife on the phone and just getting settled in. And I heard footsteps come up to the shelter, and I said, "Hello down there," because I was in the second story, and someone replied, and we had a back and forth, "How you doing, where you going," kind of thing. And he said, "I'm gonna come up and we can talk for a little bit." She said, "I'm gonna come up and visit you." And he came up and opened the door, and it was none other than Krusty Tissues himself, a man that I met on my through hike. He's finishing up his section through hike. He's gonna get the whole thing in this year. He's got another 400-mile section. I met him in New Hampshire when I was hiking the trail. It is months later, hundreds of miles later, and somehow, some way, I was actually thinking about him yesterday while I was hiking, and I met him on the trail. It was like I thought about him and he showed up. It's amazing what happens on this trail, how that ever happened. This is his first day back on the trail since his last section where he finished down to Springer. He works and has to get off occasionally and work, and he's coming back for his last section. He started in Harper's Ferry, and he made it to this shelter last night, and we had a night full of stories and just chatting. It's just it's surreal that something like that can happen, and it happens all the time on this trail. It's amazing. But that's my trail magic for today. And also, he doesn't know it, and I didn't tell him about the trail magic I left at the first shelter. So he should be the one that ends up getting that. So that's fun. He also gave me a snack for the hike, and it is a bacon Rice Krispie treat. And he looked at me, he said, "Do you like bacon?" I said, "Yeah." And he says, "It's a bacon Rice Krispie treat." So that is going to be my go-to tonight when I start hiking. Holy cow, it's 7 o'clock right now. I'm gonna start my hike in 12 hours. Wow, that's scary. Anyways, don't wanna chat your ear off this morning. I'm gonna head into Harper's Ferry, And then I'm gonna get out and set up my camp and try to get some rest so that I can do this. Holy cow. I'll tell you, to be completely honest, with the trail conditions, where you've got ice and snow, and every step you kind of slip a little bit, this is gonna be really hard. And I'll guarantee you this, I will give it my best try, but I'm a little bit worried. But I can't think that, gotta be positive. I'm going to do it. Oh, so is that what's under the snow? Kind of snow back, please. I'd like the snow back. Look at this, guys. Yeah. We've got a Pennsylvania rocks, baby. Oh, I forgot about how nasty they are. Just spiky, ankle twisting, foot poking. Oh, I thought the snow would be worse. The rock, oh, I'm not even looking at my face. The rocks may be worse. I don't know, that may just be this section. I'm getting ready to do the descent down into Harper's Ferry, and I do remember this being a little rocky. And as much as I'm complaining, I would rather, I think, have the rocks than the snow. Trail conditions are changing pretty fast, and it's going to be 60 degrees today, and then 60 degrees tomorrow. So I'll probably lose a lot of snow. It may just be a mix all day. I don't know, we will see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are entering Harper's Ferry. So nice to be back here again. All of this, just all of these sights just bring back memories. It's a lot of fun. I just passed a guy standing at the edge there, the bridge, and he's watching a pair of, I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, peregrine falcons, and you can see them flying around, and they're landing on each other and all sorts of stuff. So his day's there filming the falcons, which that's pretty cool. Anyways, so my plan is to jump into the Conservancy here and refill on water. The one tricky part to the end of this trip is from where I camped last night, actually from the spigot yesterday to the border and back, that 12-mile section, there's no real good water supply on the trail. And I can jump in there now and grab water, but tomorrow I'm not doing any extra miles. So tomorrow I'm gonna wanna have enough water. But doing my calculations, I'm gonna need about 3 liters of water, and I don't have enough containers to hold that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop here at the ATC and fill up my water bottles, but then I'm gonna cook my dinner and my breakfast and allow them to hydrate. That's where most of my water would go tonight, and normally about 2 bottles, 1.5 liters, goes towards dinner and breakfast. So I'm gonna go ahead and cook those tonight and just store them. I don't care if I eat them cold, as long as they're hydrated. That way I've got some water being stored right in my food. And then I'll have 2 bottles, another 1.5 liters, and I may buy 1 more bottle of water while I'm in town, and that'll set me up really nicely for water for the rest of today. Well, for the rest of this evening until I start hiking at, until I start hiking at, I think my goal is 7 o'clock tonight. I'm gonna start hiking. And then I'll have that 1.5 liters to get me the 12 miles to that spigot. And that'll be the longest distance. And then just thinking about it now, I'm going to probably drink, each bottle 700 milliliters. I'll probably drink a bottle at the spigot and then always carry 1 on me to drink while I'm hiking. But anyways, that's a little update, and I'll probably touch base with you guys right when I lay down to take a little bit of a rest before the attempt. So we'll see you in a bit. All right, guys, there you have it. Right over there is the side trail that marks the border of Virginia and West Virginia. Right now, I'm in Virginia, and this is the starting point for the challenge, there's a little spot that looks like it's set up here where a lot of people have camped. That is because this is where everybody wants to start. So I've really quickly set up my tent. I'm not even getting my sleeping bag or anything out. It's nice. I'm just gonna lay back here, eat as much food as I can, drink a bunch of water, and try to nap this afternoon. Get as much sleep as I can. It's about 12 o'clock, maybe close to 12:30. My plan is to set an alarm for 6:30, so I've got about 6 hours. And that'll give me a half hour to get up and get everything ready so that I can start walking at 7 o'clock. Gotta have a cup of coffee. And that gives me 24 hours to 7 o'clock tomorrow night to finish, which gives me daylight to be doing the end of the trail, which is very good. And there it is, guys. That was my trip down, and I've scoped out as much as I can. I know as much as I can know about this trail to help me be successful for tomorrow. So thank you very, very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we will see you later on down the trail. And remember, keep it between the blazes. Bye-bye.
Exactly. To you until we meet. Oh, he was gonna pull away though. Happy trails to you. Smiling until then. Here, we can walk. I am happy trails.